What's going on, everyone from LowKick MMA? My name is Dane Podolsky, and I'm joined with your boy, Eryk Anders. He is set to return at UFC 289 on June 10th when he takes on Marc-Andre Barriault. Eryk, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hey, my pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And just first off, how are you doing? How's training been going, and how'd the fight come together?
Man, doing well, man. Just finished for the day, just finished with the sauna, and now it's time to shower, get a little something to eat, and call it a day.
Sounds good, man. And have you gone to watch the footage on Barrios? What stands out to you, and what do you think gives you the advantage over him?
I think his strengths are my strengths. I'm just a little bit better at it. He likes to be aggressive, come forward, as do I. Um, um, Obviously he's dangerous. He tries to use cardio as a weapon, which I think he'll try to use against me. But this will be my 16th UFC fight, and how many times have we seen me get tired? Just once, and it was a fight that I took on 6 days. That was flew to a whole other continent. So, yeah, I'm not worried about the cardio aspect. I just got to go in there, beat me, and make it ugly, and hit the town afterwards.
Fair enough. And you're headed into enemy territory for this one. He'll have the home fans behind him in Canada. Does that give you any extra motivation?
Not really, dude. The Canadian fans are so friendly and nice. I fought Theodoro there, and even when I walked out to the cage, no one booed, no one, threw anything or said or did anything. They just cheered. So I've definitely fought in more hostile territories like Brazil, where they're gonna motherfuck you and tell you suck and you're gonna die. Until the fight's over, then they'll rock with you. But while the fight's going on, they hate you.
And if all goes well and you beat Barrio, how busy would you like to be the rest of 2023? And what are your long-term goals going forward?
Man, I just signed another new 5 fight deal with the UFC, and after these 5 fights, man, I plan on retiring. So I'd like to knock those out ASAP. I know they're going to Nashville. That's like 3 hours north of me. In August, they're going to Boston. I've always wanted to fight there in the TD Garden. I think it's one of the biggest arenas in America. So it'd be dope to fight there. Madison at the Madison Square at the end of the year. There's a lot of opportunities. They're going to a lot of cool places that I like to fight in. So yeah, hopefully we can make that happen.
So, you're 36, you say five more fights and then it's done.
Yeah, I think so, man. My kids are getting older, man. I'm away from home so much. It's time for me. They put up with me being gone. It's time for me to be there full time for them.
Fair enough. And what are your plans? Do you have any plans for after fighting? I know you were had an appearance in Cobra Kai. Is that something you'd like to get back into? Is the acting?
Yeah, that'd be cool, but that's like a lot of who you know type thing. So I like to put all my eggs in a basket that I control the outcome. I like commentating. I love watching fights. I already manage about 20 fighters, so maybe I can double dip with that and build that. And we'll see like what life it has in store for me. So yeah, I got a couple things in the works. I already got some real estate, so I'd like to grow that as well. So got a few opportunities, and things to do. So you know, we'll see what happens.
And when I'm hearing you talk about, the UFC going all these places, Nashville, Boston, the, thing that sticks out to me is just fans are there. Is it safe to say you want the fans to be there for all your fights and no more Apex cards for you?
I'll fuck with Apex. I really don't care for real. But at the end of the day, when I go back and like reminisce about my career, I would like to say, I fought in some of the best arenas America had to offer. T-Mobile Arena, I already did that. Madison Square is probably the biggest. That's definitely on the bucket list. Um, TD Garden, the Celtics, one of the best franchises in NBA history. So yeah, dude, it'd be great to. And of course, like I'm a fan-friendly fighter. Fans like to watch me fight because of my style and whatnot. So yeah, to perform in front of them, and it's their, a lot of the reason why I do what I do. Obviously, I love what I do, but to hear the roar of the crowd when you knock somebody out, um, is an indescribable feeling. So, and
Mhm.
a feeling that you can't feel unless you do it. Even if you fight there, it's cool to get a win and whatnot, but to go out there, finish a fight, and have people cheer and give you hugs and shake your hand and buy you beers after the fight, it's fucking, what more could you ask for?
I can attest to, I'm from outside Boston, so TD Garden definitely one of the best arenas, and if you're able to make on that card, man, it's an awesome place to fight at. Um,
Hopefully they'll have it.
Looking back, you're from San Antonio. The UFC went there about a couple months ago. Was it frustrating not being able to get on that card? Was that, a card you wanted to get on?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I love to go back home and fight in front of, friends and family that I grew up with, coaches, teachers, things like that. But at the same time, it just so happened that weekend was, pans for jiu-jitsu, and I went out and won a gold medal for that. So that's the good of the trophy case. But yeah, of course, anytime I get to fight in Texas or Florida, the tax-free, state income tax-free state. So I'm definitely looking to save some money too.
Well, fair enough. And I couldn't get out of here without asking you some football questions. You're obviously a former champion at Alabama. First of all, how do you think they're going to do this season?
I think with Nick Saban at the helm, they'll always be a 10-plus-1 team. I'm not sure if they've ever won less than 10-plus teams or 10-plus games in a season since he's been there. Or maybe after like the third year, second year he was there, he hasn't. But they say this every year about Alabama, like they need to reload. They don't have this, they don't have that. But one thing they do have and have year in and year out is Nick Saban, and he always figures it out and finds a way to put the best combination of players out there for the team to be successful. So, they don't have too much to worry about. I don't think.
Talk to me about your relationship with Saban and how that's kind of continued as you transition from football to MMA.
Um, Man, we're cool. We don't talk on a daily basis. I'm not going to the barbecue on the weekend, but I think like there's a large mutual respect. He's a busy guy. I get it. He's got a lot of stuff going on, trying to recruit, trying to rebuild the team, and contribute to his legacy as am I. So our paths don't cross too often, but when they do, it's nothing but love.
And then my final Alabama question, Bryce Young, first overall pick to Carolina. How do you see him doing next season?
It'd be hard for Carolina to do any worse than they did last year. I think. I don't know what their record was, but I think Bryce Young was the number one or number two pick. So yeah, I think he'll do well, man. That guy's been shown to be able to adapt and overcome. Heisman Trophy winner. So if anybody's could do it, it's him.
And so you're training out of Fight Ready MMA down in Arizona. You're still there, right?
Now I'm over here at the lab now. There was
Gotcha.
a bit of a falling out after my last fight. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I'm just kind of an innocent bystander in the whole thing. So I wasn't invited back, not allowed to go back, but I found a new home over here at the lab, so it's all good.
Who have been your main training partners for this one?
Can't hear. And it's good because I'm fighting a right-handed dude. He's fighting Vittori, so yeah, I think he fights the week after me. So yeah, he's got quite a lot to deal with,
Yeah.
So it's been good work for me.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Jared Cannonier, massive fight coming up with Marvin Vittori. How do you see that one playing out for him?
I mean, yeah, Cannonier obviously top five, capable of beating anybody in the world at middleweight. How can I not, cheer and go forward and, hope that my friend and teammate wins.
Fair enough. And then I want to ask because two of your former opponents, Thiago Santos and Kursav Jacko, both in the PFL now, and both just tested positive for steroids. Is that something you saw, and does that kind of piss you off at all?
I don't give a shit, dude. It's One, like, how do I even know that they were on it when I bought them? You know, I don't care, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is what it is. But if I could get my money back, I lost to both those guys. If I could get my win bonus off those fights, that'd be cool. But as far as them actually doing steroids, especially at that point in my career, I feel like I could beat anybody in the world, regardless. So it is what it is for me. I don't care either way.
Fair enough. And then, looking at your division, Israel Adesanya just got his belt back. Big fight coming up is Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Who do you think wins between Whittaker and du Plessis? And then who do you think either one could beat Adesanya?
I think Whittaker walks the dog on du Plessis. I mean, yeah, I think Whittaker is capable of beating Adesanya, but I think with that win over Pereira, that's going to catapult Adesanya to like a new level of confidence. You know what I mean? So now I think Adesanya, like, if you had a shot, to beat him, it's going to be even harder now. So yeah, I think that Whittaker probably stands the best chance of all the middleweights to beat him. I think he's the closest to beat him outside of Pereira, but he's no longer a middleweight. So yeah, I think if anybody could do it, it's Robert.
And then headlining your card, UFC 289, Amanda Nunes against Irene Aldana. Who wins that fight?
Man, Nunes, I think, is going to take her down. Yeah, her last fight was not Macy.
Juliana Pena.
No. Irene Aldana.
Oh yeah, Macy Chiasson.
Macy Chiasson. Man, Nunes is a much stronger and better grappler than her, and Macy Chiasson is, she was on her way to lose. She got the liver kick from the bottom or whatever. So obviously she's good. She's capable. She's a great boxer, phenomenal boxer. But I just think that Amanda Nunes is going to be too much, too big, too strong, and too much of a grappler. But dude, I don't know, dude. We saw Alexa Grasso, who trains at the same gym as her, I believe, take out Shevchenko, who nobody thought could ever lose. So this game is crazy. But I think Amanda Nunes retains the belt.
It's certainly been, a crazy landscape. Certainly, Juliana Pena upset Nunes at one point, and then Grasso upsets Shevchenko. So I think there's a lot of, guys in the title picture have been counted out that end up getting the win. So
and the belts, a lot of belts have changed hands, in the first half of this year already. So who knows, dude?
Definitely. I think, if I would agree with you on Amanda Nunes, but can't count out Irene Aldana, just seeing how all these title shots have played out. But anyways, Eryk, I won't keep you too long. Just my final question. June 10th, Eryk Anders, Marc-Andre Barriault, Eryk, give me your official prediction.
Eryk Anders by public execution. I really think this will be a fan-friendly fight, dude. I'm not saying I'm going to go out there and get unscathed. I'm for sure going to leave out of there with a black eye, a busted lip, a busted nose. But, I'm hunting and searching for the finish. And if you watch my last fight, probably my best performance, I looked to build off of that. So, yeah.
Well, Eryk, I'm wishing you the best of luck and can definitely get behind that. You looked fantastic in your last fight against Dawkins. Guys, Eryk, your boy Anders returns to the Octagon at UFC 289 on June 10th when he takes on Marc-Andre Barriault. Eryk, thank you so much for taking the time and best of luck.
Hey, appreciate it, brother. You have a good one.
You too.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.